Okay, so it seems like recently people have been getting a little bit confused over the Filian hiatus and how this affects some things that have been going on with her. More namely, the VTuber Awards. Now, if you don't know, we've covered the VTuber Awards quite a bit over here with the original kind of situation that's been going down. But it seems like with the hiatus, it's kind of confused people on what is going on. So I kind of wanted to make this video to kind of do like a little bit of a, not a history lesson, but like a, just kind of recapping what exactly has been going on with the VTuber Awards, whether we'll see it again, whether it's pretty much cooked, and what was the last thing we heard about it. But essentially, there has been, a couple of things that people maybe have been getting a little bit misconstrued, right? And a lot of it has come from posts like this one from someone called hololive, as a hololive admin and web dev, essentially saying the VTuber Awards stopped after 2024, question mark. And yeah, obviously it has the last VTuber Awards and the one before that. And yeah, I do have the, obviously, I like to flex this every time we make a video on this. I do have the card from one of the VTuber Awards. Which year was this one again? 2024, there you go. So yeah, this was the kind of V card that came out with it whenever it came out. The GamerSubs did. Also, if you want to go to GamerSubs, use my code Kaza, do that. You can get yourself the money off. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, essentially they had that one, and I'm pretty sure that was the last one that they had. So if anything, that's just gone up even more in value thanks to that. And there is something that I literally just noticed as well, which will be very interesting. But essentially, if you don't know what happened, the studio behind it, the production company WePlay Studios, is a Ukrainian company, but I'm pretty sure they're based in the US. And they were helping produce all of the WePlay Studio, all of the VTuber Awards stuff, and all of that kind of stuff. We've actually kind of producing the show itself, actually creating the show, helping with, camera angles and stuff like that. I say like virtual camera angles, because obviously it was a virtual kind of thing. But they help essentially produce it. They help provide the content to you, and they are the ones that are controlling everything in terms of the actual production itself. But yeah, recently, well, I say recently, a while ago, they actually put out a statement saying, as a company deeply rooted in Ukraine, WePlay Studios has consistently shown a pro-Ukrainian position since February 2022. We have terminated all collaborations with individuals and entities from the Russian Federation and the Republic of Belarus. We remain committed to working with partners who share and respect these values. Unfortunately, recent developments have prompted us to reevaluate our involvement in one particular project. WePlay Studios is discontinuing our work with the VTuber Awards and will no longer be involved in its production. This decision follows action taken by the event's host and founder, cooperation with Russian community, which is not aligned with our values and position. Despite this, the VTuber Awards shows represents a unique and ambitious initiative within the entertainment industry, and we are proud of the creative and technical contributions our team have made over the past 2 years. We're grateful to the companies and collaborators who partnered with us throughout this process. So they essentially dropped the VTuber Awards due to the founder, having some Russian things, right? And we'll go into that a little bit more in 2 seconds, because people have been getting confused and saying, like, for example, we got no VTuber Awards in 2025 because I guess, she's been on hiatus, which obviously is not the case. That, a lot of people have been confusing it with the hiatus, saying like, hey, is it because of that? It isn't. It isn't because of the hiatus. It's because of this WePlay Studios statement. But obviously, if you don't know, the host and the founder of the VTuber Awards, as stated in the VTuber Awards kind of thing here, saying hosted by Filian, was Filian, right? And Filian essentially interacted with a couple of Russian VTubers, at least one or two, and, was interested in the country of Russia, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And apparently, that was too far for this company, who obviously has Ukrainian roots and whatever, and they had to, I guess, not partner with her anymore. But she didn't even do anything that crazy, right? There's a lot of clips that came out. She was just interested in the culture and just talking to them. They never really talked about war and all this kind of stuff. Now, some people did mention, apparently some of the VTubers she was talking to have some, like, kind of spots within, like, the military or whatever, that apparently was supposed to be some kind of, gotcha or whatever. But again, even then, I don't think Filian's intention was to be like openly supporting Russia and whatever in terms of the war. I think she was just genuinely interested in a country, because, even though there is this whole war thing going on, I think it is pretty acceptable that people can be interested in countries, no matter what kind of status the whole political side of things are, right? I think Russia's a very interesting country, despite, all of the stuff that they've done towards Ukraine. The same goes for many other countries as well, right? You know, that are currently in war. I think they're still interesting countries. Doesn't mean, you know, you like what they're doing in terms of their war. No. But, you know, obviously they still have some cool stuff, some cool culture or whatever that, you know, people like. So again, I don't know why they really dropped her over that, but I just kind of wanted to clear that up because a lot of people have been getting confused as to why this is it. People blaming it on the hiatus and saying the hiatus stopped the VTuber awards, but no, you know, it's been a while now. And as you can see with the VTuber awards, this is one thing that I did just notice, which I think is actually very, very interesting. And I'm glad I kind of, I guess, rehashed this, because if you go onto the VTuber awards thing here, right, of course, we've got the last one. But if you click on the website, you cannot find the website anymore. It seems like it is down. It is gone, and there is nothing there. The deployment cannot be found. For more information and troubleshooting, see our documentation. Because the VTuber awards went silent. Filian didn't say anything, I don't think, at least publicly, or like a tweet or anything, like a statement. Maybe she said something on stream that I didn't see. But that's also the weird thing, right? They never said like, hey guys, you know, WePlay Studios have dropped us. Maybe it's time to wrap things up, where this is the last, that was the last one. That's the last one we're going to do. But they were just completely silent, like nothing, zero, zilch, which I don't know if that's due to like legal things or whatever. I don't know, but it is pretty interesting. Now, it's also good to mention that this was produced by Mythic Talent. And of course, Filian is no longer with Mythic Talent, at least from what we saw with the talent roster last time it was publicly available. Again, I don't know if maybe there's some changes or whatever, but there's also that going on as well. So Mythic Talent, as it says there, produced with Mythic Talent, and it has the kind of email address there at mythictalent.com. So that could also be a factor. The fact that not only did WePlay Studios drop the VTuber awards, but Mythic Talent are also no longer working with Filian, meaning that that is two companies that are not working with her for whatever that reason that might be. Now, they did happen at a very similar point in time, so I don't know if those two are connected maybe as to why she isn't with Mythic Talent anymore. Maybe the situation with WePlay Studios caused that. But it definitely is very interesting because, as I said, there's been no announcement. There's been no real explanation as to what has gone on. And, you know, a lot of people were hoping that maybe they could find a new production company, right? Maybe they could find someone else to do it because it was a cool event, right? For a lot of VTubers, and it was nice to see. But yeah, it seems like that just did not happen. And yeah, they weren't able to find a new production company despite, you know, there being quite a few out there. But of course, it just does suck because I think this could have continued, right? I don't think what Filian did was anything necessarily wrong, right? I think she did everything, you know, right. I think that if she wanted to interact with these Russian streamers or whatever, I don't think there's any kind of, you know, problem with that. And the extent that she kind of interacted with them was pretty minimal as well. I don't think she really interacted with them all that much, right? And I think it is pretty crazy. Now, of course, maybe, yeah, if she's like interacting with them every single day or whatever, I could understand maybe, you know, the company wouldn't want to associate with her. But I don't know. I think it's a bit weird, honestly, because it's not like she was supporting anything to do with the war or whatever like that. It wasn't anything like politically motivated. It just seemed like she was just having a fun time finding out about the culture in Russia and all this kind of stuff. But of course, you know, maybe that is just such a deep topic for them, right? Of course, because of everything that's going on there. I don't know. But, you know, obviously they have their own reasons for that. But it is pretty disappointing that that is the case because there could have been something really cool made within the next couple of years. But yeah, I mean, that is essentially a full update as well. And, you know, this was originally supposed to be a recap of the situation and just kind of explaining to the people that maybe who aren't caught up on this kind of stuff or maybe don't remember the situation from when we last covered it to kind of recap you on what was going on. But now it seems like this is an update because they've taken down the website, which wasn't down before in the last video that I covered. So again, very, very interesting. Seems like the website is down. Seems like we will not be getting any signs of this coming out anytime soon. But yeah, maybe they'll plan to do it like a couple years down the line. You never know. If Filian ever comes back from hiatus, that is. But yeah, that's more like off this video. If you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.